Hello, 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 hello. I don't know how the mic got turned off, but the mic got turned off. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm going live with TikTok tonight and, of course, YouTube. That's what we're doing. We're going to talk. I always drink from the tea bag. I always get the tea. See, I got the tea right there. And I always drink the string every single time. There we go. Let's see. What kind of questions have we got on YouTube tonight? You have to forgive my cough. When I talk, I cough. So I'm going to try my best to hold back some coughing tonight and be able to do a live stream, be able to do an actual decent live stream, longer than since before I had Rona. But anyway, yeah, it's got honey in it, Carlos. I'll tell you what, those Ricola cough drops are amazing. They're great, but they're addictive. They make my cough worse. If I take them too long, I cough and cough and cough, and I can't get rid of my sore throat. Excuse me. All right. So Jennifer asks, what kind of preventative pre-treatment do you recommend new homeowners to do before moving into the property? So as far as a preventative pre-treatment, I'm assuming... Man, I got honey all over my finger. I hate that. Sticky. I assume you mean for bed bugs. So... or even just cockroaches or ants, any kind of bugs in general, as far as any kind of preventative method that you can do. I would usually recommend treating before you move into the house. And this is for any kind of bugs, not just bed bugs, but any kind of bugs that you're going to, be attacked with while you're living or whatever, some that you don't want in your home. So if it's a bed bug treatment that you can do a preventative Crossfire treatment in your home. You can use lots of pesticides in your home that are actually cheaper than Crossfire if you're doing a preventative treatment for things like bed bugs. Cockroaches, same. You can use a lot cheaper pesticides than, say, Alpine WSG or some other things for roaches because you're trying to prevent taking bed bugs or things with you when you move. But for as far as like general pest control for other kinds of bugs like spiders and things like that, I always recommend treating before you move into the house because you can get to all the cracks, all the crevices, all the corners, all the walls before you actually start moving your heavy furniture into the house. Because you got to think, as soon as you put your entertainment center in, as soon as you put your bedroom furniture and your couches and your love seats and all that stuff in the apartment or home, you're going to have these big void spaces that are going to be hard to treat. But that being said, if you're moving from a place that has bed bugs, you absolutely want to treat your furniture. You want to treat your mattresses and your box springs and all those kinds of things before you move. That way, when you move into your apartment, you're moving into a fresh apartment with everything's already been taken care of. Everything's already been treated. You've already treated your apartment, and then you move your treated furniture into the apartment, so you know that anything that crawls down off of your furniture is not going to be able to get established into your apartment when it comes to things like roaches and bed bugs. Other things like spiders and crickets and silverfish and other bugs, I just recommend doing the same thing, doing a preventative treatment before you move in. This is going to take care of the bugs that are hiding. You never know if the apartment was vacant for 2 or 3 months. You're going to have all kinds of bugs. You may even have mice. You might want to put out some bait stations or something like that. Try to take care of your mouse problems. Try to take care of your pest problems before you move in. And usually that's all you really have to do. And you're going to take care of a lot of those problems. Judah says it just has some hot chocolate. I had it's funny. So I'll tell you a little bit about what happened to me. So we went out and got Taco Bell tonight. And I don't eat Taco Bell a lot. And then I went to Starbucks and I grabbed myself a coffee. And then I pressed go live and my time is ticking down. And then Starbucks hit. And you know what I mean by when Starbucks hits, when you got to go to use the bathroom. And of course, I had Taco Bell and everything too. So that's the whole funny joke. And then I'm like, got 5 minutes to go and run and use the bathroom real quick, come back so I can talk to you guys, because I done already hit the button and I'm already live. And so and it's playing the music. So I pull up the live stream and I'm watching it tick down while I'm sitting in there on the toilet. So that's what happened to me trying to come in here and talk to you guys about bugs. But that's what happens when the coffee hits. Let's see. The fisherman says, do you have a favorite bait method for trapping rats? Hope you're doing better, by the way. Yeah, I'm doing better. I recommend Talon weather block. So I've got, let's see, I'm going to try this because it's been about a month or so. For those watching on TikTok, I do have a YouTube channel. It's in my bio. You can go check the link in my bio. But anyway, so like I was going to tell fisherman here, is I have, now this is my YouTube channel, so click subscribe if you're there and follow me on YouTube. But actually, we're going to go to my Amazon page. We're going to go down to mice and rats. Oh, they done take my termite product off again. Let's see, mouse and rat control. And there's your mouse. This is the bait station I use. This is Talon Weather Block. These are the bait stations I use. I actually have upgraded from the Protector bait station. I actually use a different bait station now. But this is the bait of choice. This is what I like to use. It's Talon Weather Block. The active ingredient is Brodifacoum. It's actually pretty effective. The only problem is you need to be careful when you're treating with it that animals don't get a hold of it, because it will harm pets like dogs, cats that eat it. It can harm them. And so you want to be real careful where you place it. You want to be real careful. Always put it in bait stations, which is why, like I said, I have, the bait stations listed here, the things that I use to try to control them. And usually what I do is I do an initial treatment and I put out bait stations and bait. And then I come back in a month, I check the bait stations and I use steel wool, which is why the steel wool is actually listed, is because I go around and I seal up all the holes around the pipes and fixtures and ways that the mice can get into the home to try to keep them out. Now, the reason I don't do this on the first go around is because trial and error. Honestly, I had a customer that was really afraid, really scared of mice, and she wanted me to seal them out the day I went and did the job, so I did. That night, she called at 10 o'clock. She said the mouse couldn't find its way out of the house. It was jumping all over the counter. So what I actually ended up doing was sealing the mouse in the house, where the mouse wasn't actually living in the house. The mouse was traveling back and forth through, going outside. And so when I sealed around the pipes, the mouse actually stayed in the house, bouncing around trying to find its way out. And at night, when it was quiet, came out wandering along the countertops, places that the mouse hadn't been, just trying to get out of the house. So I always recommend coming back in 3 or 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, and checking your bait, see what kind of activity you've got, see where the heavy infested places are. A lot of times I'll put like one maybe in a crawl space or 2 in a crawl space, put some in the attic, put some all over. And then when you come back on your follow-up treatments, you can tell, well, oh man, all the bait stations in the crawl space were completely empty, and only one underneath maybe the washing machine had some activity. So I know they're probably coming up from the crawl space, coming in behind the washing machine, and so you can seal up around those pipes and stuff and try to get that stuff sealed in so you don't have any mice in those areas. And that usually works really, really well. Typically, most of my mouse customers are only customers for 2 or 3 months maybe, just until we get rid of all the mice and try to figure out how to seal up all the holes. So that's what I recommend for the control of mice and rats, and that's really effective. Let's see here. I can't get bed bugs out of my car. So I do have a video on car. So if you go to my channel, you can just search car. And the very first video that comes up is bed bug, mites, fleas in the car, how to treat your car for bugs. It is possible to treat cars. So, you know that you can treat cars for bed bugs and fleas and things that get in your car. I also have a video that I put up for YouTube Shorts, kind of like what you have on TikTok. And I think this video is actually on TikTok as well, but it's how to treat a car for bed bugs in under a minute. And you can pause where needed because I've got little tidbits of information throughout the whole video showing how to control the car. This is actually a video that I took from my course that's actually is in the description below. And I've got like 35, 36 minutes worth of video showing how to treat homes, how to treat automobiles, how to treat like bedrooms, living rooms, all the spots you want to treat to try to get bed bugs under control. So those are the 2 videos I recommend that you watch if you have problems with bed bugs in your car. So Jennifer says, for whatever, without knowing is if there is any creatures, fleas should not be a problem if there's no car. Now that's not true. So Jennifer says fleas should not be a problem if there's no carpet. That's actually not true. Fleas will live on hardwood floors. Fleas will live on vinyl. Fleas will live on concrete. Fleas will actually live anywhere pets have traveled, anywhere people have traveled. And not only that, but fleas will travel. And so if you have, so when I go and do a treatment for fleas, sorry, I just got a text message and it threw me off. Let me see. Okay, so the places I treat everything. I treat all the floors. I don't treat just carpeted areas. I treat vinyl. I treat concrete. I treat garages. Even if the pets, a lot of times pets will go in a garage, but sometimes they won't. Sometimes people keep them out of the garage because they don't want them getting in their cars and stuff. And so like cars, garages, every floor in the house gets treated because the fleas will travel throughout the house. And I'll tell you a story. I had a lady who had a bedroom that was not carpeted. It was actually in the basement with a hard concrete floor. And actually, I think it was linoleum on the floor. But she had the room full of junk. It was just junk. The cat never went in the room. The door wouldn't open more than that far. It was all closed up. And the floor in that room didn't get treated. And because I can't go in there and move everything out of this room. It would have taken me all day. And so I treated the whole house. And I told her, I said, well, I've noticed the stuff that's in this room still, and we need to be able to treat this floor in this room because, like I said, we need to treat every room in the house because this is what I tell everyone every time I do a flea treatment. I tell everyone this. And she said, well, I don't think the cat's been in there. I don't think the fleas are in there. We'll do all right. 2 weeks went by. And she called me back. She had everything pulled out of that room. She still had fleas. I went in, I treated that room. All the fleas died. And so even though the room had a hard surface floor, even though it was a non-porous floor, the fleas traveled under the door. Nothing had been in the room except, honestly, no one could get in the room. Honestly, to this day, I don't know how she got the stuff out of the room unless she just took the door off the hinges or something. I have no idea. But she moved all the stuff out of the room. I was able to get in there. I was able to treat, and the fleas died. So just because you think carpet's not the only thing that fleas will live in. Fleas will live on any surface. I treated my collectibles before moving them into my storage. Let's see. Jennifer says, just have your Amazon page up every week online. Honestly, I'm not an advertiser. I know I advertise sometimes. Like I'll flash my Amazon page or I'll flash my course. Like I talked about my course for a few minutes. It's not something that I push. I don't try to sell the stuff. I really am just here to help. The only reason I have an Amazon page for people is because when I first started YouTube, a lot of people were asking me how to get the products that I talk about. Because I talk about Crossfire and I talk about Alpine and I talk about, bifenthrin granules and all this different stuff. And so, excuse me. So I made an Amazon page. The reason I made an Amazon page is not for the commission that I get on the sales. It's because it is a consolidated place where you can find everything that I talk about. And it's really easy. And I even tell people, in fact, if you go back way back to when I first started my Amazon page, like 3 years ago, and you look at those videos, I tell people, price compare, price shop. Shop around and get the cheapest price. There are cheaper prices on the internet. And with Crossfire fluctuates as bad as the stock market. Excuse me, as the stock market. And one day it'll be $50 and tomorrow it'll be $38. And so it's one of those things where it's not always cheapest to buy on Amazon. Sometimes it's cheapest to buy through like Do Your Own Pest Control, Do My Own Pest Control. There's pest control supplies, lots of different websites on there out on the internet The only reason I consolidate everything and I use Amazon for a source is because that's where I got my business started. 5-6 years ago, Amazon has same day, next delivery or whatever. And I got all my pesticides delivered. The majority of my pesticides, my B&Gs, all that stuff, all came from Amazon because it was easy. I could get the stuff right away. I could start work. When I decided to start my business, it was boots on the ground, worked every single day. I went out, I door knocked neighborhoods, whole neighborhoods from all of Nelson County, from Lynchburg all the way to Albemarle County. I knocked every single door along the 29 corridor. I just worked all the time. I still work all the time. I'm still a 24-hour pest control company. And like I said, the only reason I have these pages is honestly just to give you a source that you can find. And so, and I want it to be a reputable source. And if you have a problem with something you've ordered, you can complain to Amazon and you can get your money back. You just take it back to Kohl's, they'll ship it back to them, and no harm, no foul. I don't have to worry about carrying products and trying to sell products because I don't want to do that. I would rather let Amazon sell the products. I just tell you where to get them. So, I used Harris Black Label and No Bugs. So I just did a video. Well, I'm working on one. I'm editing one. Just so you guys know, I have a video that's going live next Tuesday. If I can get it edited, it's a lot of editing. It is a really difficult video to make. But it's like almost half an hour long, and it goes over how to get rid of bed bugs with a repellent pesticide. So for those that don't know, Crossfire is a non-repellent, and it's easy. It's the easy button for bed bugs. It's what I talk about. It's why I talk about it. It's why I recommend it, because it's, like I said, it's the easy button for bed bugs. It's super, 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 super easy to get rid of bed bugs using Crossfire. But in Canada, New York State, several states in the Union actually don't allow neonicotinoids anymore. Canada, let me see, I said Canada, New York, let me think, European countries, a lot of European countries. And because I have a vast audience all over the internet, I have made a video on how to eliminate bed bugs successfully with pesticides like Talstar, and Harris Black Label, and a couple of other pesticides that you can get in other countries because of the audience. I tell people, if you have a question, leave it in the comments. If you have a question, come sit in my live streams, call me. I've got Skype. I think I have Skype open right now. It is. So, you can call me. I'll answer the phone. I'll talk to you. But I tell everybody to, ask me. And because of the overwhelming amount of people, and not only that, for Discord, I've got a Discord channel that you can come and you can hang out on Discord. You can ask me questions there. I have, in fact, I'll show it to you. Let me see if I can do there. So there's Discord. I'm hiding my other channels. But yeah, right here, this is the Discord channel. This is the general screen. I've got the bedbug channel. I've got cockroaches, spiders, termites, memes, crazy memes, and fleas, And so people come on here and they ask questions about bed bugs and stuff like that. See, I've got it open right now. I always have it open. This is my latest video. Whenever I post a video on YouTube, I always post a link to it right here on Discord so you can see it. And I told everyone, oh, you know what? I should say at everyone. And then say, I'm live now. Because I should have done this earlier. And let's see, https://www.youtube.com/green-acres-pc. Yeah, let's just do that. I think it's live too. You could do live. But anyway, there's the link. But like I said, I do this for everybody on my Discord, so you've got a place that you can find me and you can chat with me if you want to anytime. I always have Discord available. I also am on TikTok. There's my TikTok. All kinds of, there's a bedbug video there. I can't play them on YouTube because YouTube has copyright problems with music. So because I make these on TikTok, they have special music and stuff on them that will not play on YouTube. So you have to go to TikTok to see those. I have remedies for like cough remedies and stuff like that, and just some memes and stuff like that too, and jokes and things. But as roaches, that roach that looks at you on the wall and different things like that too. Just kind of funny stuff that I've got on TikTok. So if you're interested in that, you can follow me there. And of course, people that are watching me now know I have a TikTok. You guys can follow me on TikTok too. So anyway, let's get back to the chat because I'm just rambling now. Let's see. Can a tick treatment using Bifin work without treating pets with anti-tick collar drops? Or with an anti-tick collar and drops? Or drops, I think it's the same. Or do we have to treat the pets too? Okay, so you don't treat your pets with Bifin because Bifin's for the yard and it's for, around outside the house. But you can treat your pets with the spot treatments and the flea collars and stuff like that. You're going to need to do that. You need to treat your pets and you need to treat your home as well and your yard. All those three things have to be done in order to eliminate things like ticks and fleas. So you do need to do everything. That's something you need to do. John Torres, hey Jason, is there a B&G replica sprayer that doesn't drip like the real B&G? I've been trying to find one, the one your wife found and recommended. It's just that these cheap sprayers drip while in the home. Okay, so cheap sprayers do drip. That's a problem. I don't recommend anything but a B&G. B&Gs will drip too if you don't have them tight on the tip. And there may be a way to anti-drip. If anybody knows any kind of, that would be a pretty cool thing to see if anybody has actually fixed the tips on those cheap plastic sprayers from dripping. But I don't know of any of those plastic sprayers that really work really well. But I have yet to be able to do my videos on the sprayers at all yet. So I'm still working on it. House is still under construction. Still got a lot going on. And so I'm trying my best to get out there and give you a decent review on different. In fact, I still have a B&G, the pink one, that I have not even started to use yet because I want to be able to do a video for you guys on spray tanks. But anyway, Judah Mario says the spider on your site is an Australian redback. Cool. Yeah, that actually I just got that from Amazon. Let's see, Green. AkersPC.com. I didn't get it from Amazon. I got it from Adobe. I have Adobe, an Adobe subscription, and so I get all of my pictures from Adobe, because I pay, well, except for these pictures. I mean, I took that one, and that's me, and that's kids. That's from Adobe. So I've got all these different images and stuff from Adobe stock because I don't want to get sued because I've been sued. I've been sued for using the wrong image before, and I don't want to do it to get that happen again. So let's see. My exterminator wanted to use phantom aerosol for the second treatment to get rid of bed bugs. Okay. Actually, in the video I just did for next week, I recommended phantom. That's one thing that you can get in other countries that you can't get. I mean, you can get it here, but you can also get it in other countries when you can't get Crossfire. So I actually did recommend phantom just today on the video I made today. John Torres, eBay is a good place to buy chemical. Let's see. One of the problems with eBay is, and this is one of the reasons too that I made this video for next week is, and there's tons of spoilers, but that's what you get on my live streams. Everybody knows this. I talk about my videos and this stuff that I've done. But one of the problems that I've run into, and this is why I've made this video for people in other countries, is because people that live in New York are going to Jersey to get Crossfire. People that live in Canada are coming across the border into the U.S., having friends in the U.S. get it, and then picking it up and taking it back across the border. People in Europe are trying to get it in countries where you can get it and then ship it to their house. There's a lot of illegal activity going on trying to get Crossfire. And so I want people to know there are other chemicals out there that work on Crossfire. Now, it's that work on bed bugs as maybe not as effectively as Crossfire, but if the bugs are dead, the bugs are dead. It's going to take you a little while longer. You're going to have to work longer to get rid of the bed bugs, but you will absolutely get rid of your bed bugs if you do it the way I tell you to do it. And so that's why I made the video. It's the way I used to get rid of bed bugs. I used to use Talstar for bed bugs, and I would eliminate the bed bug problem. And you tell an exterminator that today, and they'll laugh at you. They're like, I can't believe you use Talstar for bed bugs. But honestly, it's one of the only options that we had back in the day. That was it. I mean, that's all you could use. And so I know how to do it because I've done it. I've been killing bed bugs since I was 17. The very first bed bug job I did, I was 17 years old. I did another one 3 years later, and now it's like a third of my income. I just did a bed bug job a couple days ago. I've had a call this morning about bed bugs. I get calls all the time on bed bugs. I do a lot of bed bug services, and so I want people to understand there are other ways to get rid of bed bugs out there other than heat, other than freezing treatments, other than these gimmicks that people push on their customers that do not work. They absolutely do not work. Now, a heat treatment will work if there is a residue after the heat is turned off. The problem is a lot of these companies are doing heat treatments and they're leaving, and heat's turned off. Okay? There's nothing, when the heat is turned off, there is nothing to kill the bugs. There is no residue. If there are any bed bugs hidden in the walls, around your light sockets, your light switches, in the insulation, buried in the insulation, those bed bugs are not dead when the heat gets turned off. They're just not dead. It's absolutely the truth. Because insulation is designed, by design, to keep the heat in or out, not in the wall. It keeps the heat out of the wall. So if the bed bugs are in the wall, they're safe. If the bed bugs are in a cushion, they're safe. If bed bugs are inside a mattress, they're safe. Sometimes even inside a box spring, they're safe. I did a job, a pesticide application job, because that's all I do, in Charlottesville, Virginia, 2 years ago. Lady had a exterminator in there do a heat treatment, had mattresses, box springs, and everything in the room, vertical, not horizontal, but vertical, standing straight up, so the heat could penetrate all the way around, both mattress and the box spring. Had mattress encasements on both the mattress and the box spring. Exterminator required them to have them. When I went in and unzipped the mattress encasement, there were live bed bugs inside the box spring after a heat treatment. Okay, if heat treatments truly work, those bed bugs should have been dead, but they weren't. And we have a call, and it was muted for some reason. Hello, let me know if you can hear me. Hello. There is a problem with my speakers, and I cannot hear. Let's see. Hold on just a minute. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just, I saw you live here on here, and saw the number, so I just wanted to give a call.
Yeah.
So I had like an issue a month and a half ago, and saw your YouTube videos, and yeah, I've been gone with them for like a month now, so I just wanted to say appreciate it, man.
Oh, well, great. That's good. Did you use Crossfire to get rid of your bed bugs?
I did.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing stuff. I try to tell people I don't understand why more exterminators don't use it when, novices that aren't. I mean, I've got 30 years of experience under my belt, and I'm teaching people that have never done pest control at all. They're going in and they're killing their bed bugs. And so if you can do it, professionals can do it, but they're just not.
Exactly, and it's crazy because we had one come out, and our landlord paid like $400 or $500, and we still had them like 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later.
He didn't pay enough. The landlord didn't pay enough. He had a cheap guy come in and didn't pay enough. Even me, I'm pretty cheap. I don't charge a lot to do the bed bug work I do, but that's $400 or $500. That's pretty cheap. But hey, thank you for calling, and thanks for your kind words. I really appreciate it. I'm glad it helped you.
Yep, I appreciate it, man. And I'm subscribed to you, so keep up the good work.
Hey, no problem. You have a good one, too. Thank you very much. There we go. Now I can hear it. For some reason, my Skype phone, if anybody's tried to call me, I didn't hear it until I just happened to look, and there it was. So anyway, let's see what else we got up here. And you'll have to forgive my coughing. Pretty much everybody on YouTube knows that I had the Rona. but I'm over it. But I still have a residual cough. The doctor says I got about 70% lung capacity, so I cough a little bit. Let's see here. How often should I spray Crossfire? I used it. It's worked so far. No bites. No bugs. Seen 3 weeks now. How long does a residual last? The residual for Crossfire lasts for 30 days. It will kill bed bugs for 30 days. Some people are claiming it lasts longer than 30 days, but the label only says 30 days. So if you feel like you need to retreat once a month. That's what I tell people. So many channels. You're famous. Nah, I'm not famous. I only have about 17,000 subscribers. 17.2, I think it is. I'm not that famous. I'm just here to help. It's not about having likes or having subscribers or whatever. I know I ask for subscribers all the time because that's what you're supposed to do with YouTube. If you don't ask, you won't get them. But truthfully, it's just just for the people that are here. Honestly, how many people are in chat right now? Let's see. I don't even know because I can't see because I've got everything minimized. Let's see. There are 20 people in chat right now, and if I help just these 20 people, that's all I care about. Honestly, it's really not about how many people are subscribed. I just want to help people get rid of their bugs. So Mr. Shellcracker says, I noticed a trail of black carpenter ants going up the side of my house into my attic. I followed the trail to a tree cavity, treated with Ortho Home Defense and Bifin Granular. Any recommendation? Well, if you treat it directly in the tree, you will probably kill your ant problem, even with chemicals like Home Defense and bifenthrin, because bifenthrin is actually what I use as a granular around the outside of a home. I use it around the base of trees and stuff all the time. It's actually a very, very good pesticide. And the fact that the trees, the ants won't have anywhere to go, because if they try to travel down the trunk, they won't be able to go anywhere. That's probably going to kill them. You'll want to do it at least once a month. You want to treat the trunk of the tree to keep the ants in the tree. And basically what you're doing is you're putting them under siege so they cannot leave. If they leave, they die because they have to crawl through the chemicals, so they die. And that's very, very effective. I have saved many trees. I have several customers who have really big, huge oak trees in their front yard that the ants were getting into, trying to hollow them out. Maple trees, ants love maple trees, softwood trees, pine trees and stuff. And they will hollow them out. They will kill the tree. And so I have saved many trees by just treating once a month. Usually 6 months is about how long it takes to kill an entire nest of ants. Maybe longer, depends. Through the winter, ants don't need as much food, but typically they have 6 months worth of food stored in their colony. And so as long as you're treating once a month for 6 months, you're going to get rid of your ant problem. I recommend setting a calendar date like the first Monday or the first Wednesday or the second Tuesday or whenever. And that way you just put it on your calendar every month, treat that same day, and eventually you'll eliminate your ant problem. So John says, Jason, you were saying that you made a video using repellents to get rid of bed bugs. Please explain. Okay, so back when I used to kill bed bugs years ago, I used to use repellents to kill bed bugs. And the way that you do this is, so this video is not live. This video is going live Tuesday. I've gotten 8 minutes of a 27-minute long video edited. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me. It's a big video. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of DIY instruction showing where to treat. But basically, it goes along the premise of a baseboard jockey, which is what I am. I hold that badge with pride. But there are countries that have to do it this way. They have no choice but to do it this way. So as far as using repellents, because non-repellents are not available. It's that the neonicotinoids, those pesticides are pretty much the only non-repellents we have available to us. Now, a lot of the organophosphates have been taken off the market, like Dursban and Diazinon and some of these other pesticides are no longer available to the public. And the reason that they took them away from the public is because these types of the organophosphates build up in the system over time, and they can cause nerve damage. Now, if you're careful, you're not going to hurt yourself. But because they were available to the general public, they took them away from everybody, and so now these pesticides no longer exist. Organophosphates, most of them are non-repellent. This is what people used back long time ago to get rid of bed bugs. If you read about DDT, DDT is one of those pesticides that people use to get rid of bed bugs. In 76, I think, is when it was outlawed. So what I've done, when they took Dursban and Diazinon and other pesticides off the market, I switched and started using bifenthrin. That's what I was using, Talstar P and a couple of other pesticides. And I would go in and I would basically treat every single crack, every crevice. You have to take everything out of your dressers, chest of drawers, nightstands, these whole long checklists that people have to do to get rid of their bed bugs, that Orkin will give you, Terminex will give you, all these companies will give you these long lists of all this stuff you have to do. These lists were invented during the repellent era of bedbug elimination because it was the only way to get rid of bed bugs. So the way a repellent works is the bed bugs see it, they avoid it. They don't want to crawl through it. They want to stay away from it. So you treat baseboards. You treat, based on the label. Now, this is all based on the label. As long as the label allows you to do this, this is what you do. But Talstar P does allow this. I actually just looked it up today. It still has it on the label, still has bed bugs on the label, still allows for the treatment of bed bugs. The only thing you can't do is you can't treat the mattress. So if the bed bugs are living on the mattress, you may have to use steam cleaning, you may have to use, of course, vacuuming and stuff, things like that in order to target the bed bugs on the mattress. If you cannot kill the bed bugs on your mattress, you need to throw your mattress away. But like I said, this video is not about saving money. It's about how to treat bed bugs with repellent pesticides. And so basically you treat every single crack everywhere so that there's nowhere for the bed bugs to run to, nowhere for them to hide, nowhere there for them to try to escape. And this is something my dad taught me when I was very young. He on cockroach elimination, acrobat ant elimination, odorous house ant elimination, is that if you have a crack and you did not treat that crack, those bugs are going to be in that crack. So it's just a really thorough, it is a more advanced type of treatment because, I've been doing this for a long time. It's not easy. It's not an easy treatment like Crossfire. It's a lot more prep work. It's a lot more involved. It's a lot of work. But the thing about bifenthrin in the U.S. is most bed bugs are immune to bifenthrin here. There's actually a pyrethroid-resistant strain of bed bugs that are immune to bifenthrin. So I don't recommend it for the U.S. I recommend Crossfire for the U.S. I don't recommend it anywhere but the U.S. Crossfire is for U.S. use. It works. If you can get it, use it. It's the best. It's going to take months to get rid of your bed bug infestation using something like a repellent type treatment, because you have to really treat everywhere. You have to treat everywhere, and you have to do it religiously every month. You cannot miss a month. You can't miss one single treatment, because if you do, the bed bugs they're going to bite you, they're going to lay eggs, they're going to start all over again. So the way that you eliminate bed bugs with a repellent treatment is you have to be consistent, you have to be thorough, and you'll get rid of your problem if you do it that way. Because I've done it. I've never really had a problem getting rid of bed bugs, ever, because I've been very thorough. I'm talking really thorough, to the point where you're at the house maybe 2 or 3 hours doing a treatment, and to a novice, someone that's not used to that type of treatment, you may be doing this for a day. You may have to just plot out a day and say, this is the day I'm going to do it, and you work on it all day long until you're done. And then you do it again next month, and then you do it again the following month, and then you may even have to do it a 4th month. But this is the way you get rid of bed bugs using repellents. It's very hard. It's not easy, but it can be done, and it is cheaper than heat. It is. So let's see. Judah Mario says they are toxic and related to Black Widow and the UK's False Widow. Okay, you talk about that spider on my website still. I got the 13-ounce spray. Do I mix with 1 gallon of water? You mix with, what I do is I mix half a gallon, just half a gallon of water, pour that in, and then pour in the 13 ounces and then fill to a gallon. Because it's actually not exactly a gallon of water plus 13 ounces of Crossfire. It's like, what is it? Oh, now I can't remember. It's 128 ounces to a gallon minus 13 ounces. So that's how much water you'd use. You don't actually use exactly a gallon of water. So it's easier. And actually, this is what the label even says right on it. It says to throw half a gallon of water in your tank, put the 13 ounces in, pour the rest of the water in. That helps agitate, and then shake your tank real well. Put your lid on and shake really, really well so you agitate your chemical. And you're going to want to shake your chemical every 2 or 3 minutes or so while you're working so that you can keep the chemical agitated, because Crossfire will actually separate from water. So you want to continuously shake it and agitate it and keep it flowing, keep it moving so that it stays suspended in the water. Judah says, I learned to kill bed bugs from you. Jennifer says, PSA, the label is the law. Exactly. That's exactly right. I can't say it enough. In fact, it's right here, for my setting up stream. It's right here for closing the stream. I'm really trying to push through that the label is the law. You really, really do need to follow the label. And the label is really there to protect you. The reason that companies have labels is not to, make it hard for you to get rid of bugs. It's so you can be successful getting rid of bugs, because it's a chemistry. It's really all chemistry based. So when you're in chemistry, you've got a little ingredient here and a little ingredient there, and this is how you get rid of a bug problem with pesticides as well. If it tells you on the label to mix 1 ounce per gallon, don't mix 5 ounces. Mixing it stronger doesn't make it better. It makes it more toxic to you as the mammal. You're trying to kill something that is not a mammal. You're trying to kill a bug. And so if the label says all you need is 1 ounce, that's all the toxicity you need to kill that bug. And it's also safer around you as the person. You don't want to use anything that's harmful around you. You want to kill your bugs. You don't want to kill yourself. So private mode says, oh, you've 100% helped me over the past few months. Dedicated viewer. Well, good. Cool. Thank you, private. Mike says, thank you for your answer. I'm glad I found your channel. That instinct would have been to use a bug bomb, and I would have spread them everywhere. Oh, yes. Don't use bug bombs. Bug bombs, yeah, a lot of people swear by them. They love foggers. But foggers get everywhere. When you set off a fogger, it puts chemical on the walls. It puts chemical on the ceiling. It puts chemical all over the floor. And you know where it doesn't put chemical? It doesn't put chemical in the cracks. It doesn't put chemical in the crevices because it can't. It's just a liquid that sprays all over the place. And so when you're using a spray tank and you're targeting that crack, you're going to get the chemical right where the bugs are. Bugs hide. Bugs don't want to be out in the open. They don't want to be out around you. They want to be inside the wall. They want to be in the cracks, in the crevices, crawling around, hidden away. And the only time you see them, let's use ants for example. The only time you see ants is when you got food out on the table. Is when you've got something out on the counter. You don't see them until you set something down. And then they're like, oh, time to eat. Let's go eat. And they come out and they find it. But that's because they were hidden in the crack 3 or 4 inches away. And if you use a bug bomb, it's just going to spray crap everywhere. You're going to have to come in and wipe your counters and wipe your tables and wipe your walls and clean all the surfaces because there's pesticide all over them. And you have to clean it off because you don't want your kids touching the walls and rubbing the walls and then licking their hands. Or the same with the table. You don't want to eat off of a surface that's got pesticide all over it. And so really, bug bombs are archaic. They are in the past. They're not successful. It's not a good way to get rid of bugs. It's better to use targeted methods of pest control where you're putting the chemical in a crack. It's not around you. It's in a crack. So it's safe. You're not going to be exposed to a pesticide that's in a crack. Neither are your children. Neither are your pets. But the bugs, shoot, they're going to be in that crack and they're going to crawl all through that chemical and get it all over their body and die. And so this is one of the reasons I don't recommend bug bombs. This is one of the reasons why I say foggers don't work, is because they don't. They're just not effective. Now, back in the day, It was one of the ways that we would get rid of things like fleas, roaches even, because let me give you an example. So you go in a house and you use Demon Max, all right? I think it's 2 ounces or an ounce. Maybe it's an ounce to a gallon to do a clean out. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I used it as a clean out pesticide. But anyway, you go in, you take Demon Max, all right? You spray in the cracks and the crevices everywhere. And then the roaches start raining off the ceiling because they're trying to get away from it, because that's a highly repellent pesticide. So you spray that stuff around, and then use a fogger or a fog machine, which I always used a machine. I had a machine that I used that I put the pyrethroid in, pyrethrin typically. And you put that in the fog machine. And the my phone's going off. So the roaches that don't die from what you sprayed in the cracks, they die from the pesticide that's in the air and on all the surfaces now. So the roaches really don't have anywhere to hide. This is what we used foggers for back when I first started in pest control, when I was like, 6, 7, 8 years old. But I haven't actually had to fog a home since I was like 20. I mean, I'll be 40 in December. It's been 20 years since I had to use a fogger. I just don't use them. But anyway. Hey, Jason, I've used Crossfire. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see. I missed one. Okay. Mr. Shellcracker says, thanks so much. I noticed some of the ants walking through the chemical. I'm assuming it will just take them a while to die. Yes, correct. Do I have to worry about satellite colonies in my attic? Okay, so satellite colonies communicate with mother colony. So if you kill the mother colony, the satellite will die. Naturally, they'll just die. Because the idea of a satellite is that it has to be able to communicate with the mother colony in order to survive, because it's not by itself a mother colony. Now, there is a chance that satellite colony has lived long enough to where if the mother colony dies, it can become its own mother colony, but that's not very likely. More than likely, you're going to kill all the ants by killing the mother colony. So let's see. Hey, Jason, I've used Crossfire today, and I saw dead bugs on my headboard. When they die, is it normal for them to fall like confetti? Sometimes not. Sometimes they stick to stuff. I've gone in houses and flipped box springs up that I treated the month before, and their dead ones just stuck to the box spring, and I think they're alive. I'll think they're live bed bugs, and I'll touch them with my finger, and they'll fall, and they're just dead. So, it just depends. Let's see. Always read the label. I never use bug bombs. Okay, John says, what are your thoughts on apple rodenticide or Ditrac? Have you used these? I have not used them. I live in California, and we're limited to what we can use. Yes, you are. Californians are idiots. They're absolute morons, and I will say that again and again and again, and I'll probably offend people. But there is a thing that is the plague. Okay, the plague still exists. A child in, Oregon? Died this year from the plague. Tragic story, okay? The plague exists. It still exists. And the fact that California is limiting their rodenticides to the point of absurdity is just horrible. It's horrible. They're eliminating them not just for the general public. I mean, if you're really worried that Bob down the street is going to poison the neighbor's dog, then don't let Bob buy rat poison. If that's really your top concern, don't let Bob buy the rat poison. Let Jerry, who's licensed to buy the rat poison, let him kill the rats, because he's not going to kill the cat or the dog. He's going to be a lot safer than Bob will be, because Bob's going to kill a dog if he uses rat poison. So let Jerry, who's licensed and insured, go out and kill rats and mice. That's pretty easy. That's a no-brainer type thing. But don't take it away from everyone. We need rodenticides. We need them. Farmers need it. You can't have rats in a barn. You can't have mice in a barn. They get into the horse feed and the cow feed and chicken feed, and they ruin it all. They absolutely ruin the food that's for our food. I mean, I'm vegan. I don't eat these things, but a lot of people do. And a lot of people rely on beef, chicken, pork, all these different animals that are fed with the feed that the rats and the mice are absolutely ruining. And so if you don't have rodenticide there available to kill these animals, these poisonous animals like mice and rats, traps just can't keep up. You cannot keep up with a rat and a mouse population with mouse traps. You just can't do it. It's just not possible. You have things like trap shy. You have things like beta version. Even beta version, like peanut butter is what I'm talking about. Like things that get on traps and stuff. They're used to seeing, if they go and they see a mouse on a trap, they won't go in a trap. And the rats also go and they'll see a dead rat on a trap. They won't go in a trap anymore, and you have to constantly change things all around. Like Jennifer says, you can have cats in a barn. The cats are natural mousers, but they can't keep up with the population. The problem is mice and rats are some of the most populous animals in the world. All right, there are areas where the mice are so bad, and there are cats there, they can't keep up. Snakes can't keep up. They eat like one mouse every 8 to 12 months. And cats, if they're not hungry, they're not going to mouse. They're not going to go after a mouse. So once they get a meal, they're not going to go after another mouse. They're not going to continue. They're not going to engorge themselves on food, because they're not going to do that. They're going to eat. They're going to get full, and they're going to go over and take a nap in the sunlight. And then the rest of the mice are going to run all over the place. So you can't keep up with a mouse or a rat population with other animals, because if that were true, then we wouldn't have mice and rats. The animals would keep the population down, and we wouldn't have problems with them, because neighborhoods are full of stray cats, stray dogs, raccoons, and other animals and things that hunt and kill mice. That, if animals truly could keep up with the population, then we should not technically have them getting in our homes. They're not, so we do. So that's the truth. We have to be able to eliminate these rodents. And the fact is that mouse poison is very, very effective. So anyway, let's see. Question. Jennifer says, how or where do you properly dispose of unused, outdated pesticides store-bought? So in Virginia, we have a pesticide elimination program where every year you can take your pesticides to a certain dump site, and they will take your used pesticides, okay, or unused pesticides. I use all my pesticides. I don't ever have anything left over because I use it all. I even use my Rinsate and things like that for my own house. I treat around my house with lower toxicity or around the windows and doors and stuff. But then I'm licensed. I can do that myself. But and you could do that on your own. You could use the chemicals yourself. But I always tell people the label is the law. But let's be honest, the only people that really have to worry about the label is the law are the people that are licensed like me that risk ruining their label and losing their label. People break label all the time. But I would never break label to the point of overmixing a pesticide or mixing a pesticide too strongly, because you don't want to go that route. If anything, weaker, but not stronger. So, but yeah, I would recommend taking your pesticides to these dump sites. And if you're really worried about, unused portions of pesticide that may not even be effective anymore, maybe you've got a bottle of chloridane in the basement, or DDT or something like that. I go in basements, I see the DDT dust. People still have it, and it's no good. It's not going to be any good. It's 2021. The stuff has been outlawed since '76. It's really old. It's absolutely outdated. Pesticides do not last. And so it's easier just to take it, put it in a bag, take it to the dump site look it up on your state Department of Agriculture. In Virginia, it may be something different where you live, but just look there and see what kind of programs that they offer. Usually they offer one. Victoria says, so glad you're feeling better. Anyways, always watch your videos. Thank you, Victoria. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm working all the time. I feel great. I'm a workaholic. I love to work. I haven't worked a lot today. I had termite work to do today. But I have one job, I think, one or two jobs to do today. But anyway, Floyd said, just wanted to say thank you so much. 3 treatments with Crossfire once every 2 weeks, 2 months, and they are gone. Heat, other sprays, and diatomaceous earth did not do it. You are the best. Well, thank you, Floyd. I'm glad you were able to get rid of your bed bugs. Let's see, Jennifer. Let's see, I said that. I read that already. I believe rats are able to adapt for survival. They do. Let me take my keys out of my pocket. Jennifer says, I have crap from several years ago and before I knew any better. Yeah, so yeah, you can take it. Like, so let's see. Let's see if I can bring up the site. I won't bother you guys with it, make you guys look. Let me see. Virginia. Disposal. Okay. So, I will be right back. I gotta use the bathroom. If you're on TikTok, you're gonna see me stand up and run away. If you're on YouTube, I'm gonna set it up stream, and I'll be right back. I'm here. I'm here. There we go. This is my bathroom break. Right here. This is 40 ounces of water. I have to drink it because if I don't, I get dry throat and I start to coughing. But you see, I haven't actually been too bad tonight. It's been all right. I have to inhale. I have a inhaler I have to take about twice a day, once in the morning and once at night for 30 days or whatever. That's what they say I have to take to heal my lungs. But anyway, so let's go. I'll show y'all what Virginia does with pesticide collection. So this is the Department of Agriculture's website for the state of Virginia. And if you scroll down on the pesticide collection, they've got this whole page dedicated to pesticide collection. And if you're going to go down here, you could see that the map of participating localities for 2020 to 2024. So this is the map they have, and you could click here. And this shows you where they're doing their pesticide collection. So you see in 2020, which of course has already passed, that was these counties here. And then 2021 are these counties here. And then 2022 is the purple, and then the blue, which I actually live around in this area. And then 2024 is Western Virginia, southern Western Virginia. So this is the way that Virginia does it. Now, your state may be different, but these are the places. And if you live in one of these areas that's like blue, you can go into these other areas if you have a chemical that needs to be disposed of. You can move around into these other counties, but you're going to have to drive a long ways to get rid of your pesticide. And so basically they try to, every so many years, kind of rotate around so you can get your collection done in the area near to where you live, and they'll have a dump site. And then you call them, you just call the Department of Agriculture, and they can tell you, where in your county they're accepting pesticide elimination. So this is what they do in Virginia anyway. This is how we get rid of our used pesticides. So hopefully that answered your question, Jennifer. But so anyway, like I'm saying, if you're on the video now, you should like the video and you should click the subscribe button, and you'll see all my cool videos that I put up. I mean, some of them might be cool. I don't know. I try to edit them, make them look good. But I still recommend you go to my TikTok, because I've been having a blast over here. And they're funny. They have crazy videos. Some of them are crazy. Those of you who know and been following me for a few years know I got a sense of humor. I try to have a sense of humor. But anyway. So, well, is there... I think I've gotten all the way to the bottom. I don't think I've missed any questions. If I have missed any questions, don't feel free to post it again. Sometimes the chat runs a little too fast. I can't keep up. I haven't had any questions in TikTok tonight. Usually I have at least 1 or 2 questions in TikTok. Let's see if I scroll up. Yeah, see, I haven't had any questions in TikTok. I don't have a lot of people follow me in TikTok. I got 17,000 people following me in YouTube. I don't have anybody follow me in TikTok. Hardly. I'm pretty new to that platform. Thanks again. Are bifenthrin granules and something like Demon Max the best exterior treatment for a house with kids? Also, do you treat for mosquitoes? That would be a good video. I don't treat for mosquitoes. I mean, I do. I do and I don't. So, if I treat a home for mosquitoes, I treat around. So, when you're doing the exterior of a home, the places mosquitoes like to roost are in the soffits, around shady spots in the house, tree cover, like spots of the house that are constantly under tree shade, boxwoods, other types of bushes, rhododendron, things like that grow up around the house. You treat these areas, you put the sprayer and spray up underneath these bushes, because you need to get under the leaves, because the mosquitoes typically roost under the leaves. And you treat around the soffits and the eaves and the overhangs, and around windows and doors, and around the base of the house, around the granules, around the mulch beds and things like that. Places that the mosquitoes are going to roost. And this is going to eliminate the mosquitoes around the exterior of your home. All right. The problem with treating your yard for mosquitoes is there are insect growth regulators you can use for mosquitoes. They're actually very effective. But the problem is if everyone doesn't treat their yard in your neighborhood, like, for example, I live in a very closely knit neighborhood. I have a half-acre lot, and everyone down the road has a half-acre lot. So everybody's really, really close. If everybody doesn't treat their house, I mean, I treat my yard, okay? I treat my yard several times a year for bugs, for spiders and ants and bugs in general. I still get mosquitoes, even though I treat my yard, because the neighbors don't treat their yard. And if I walk outside and the mosquito is in, Cindy's or Bob's or Gerald or whoever's yard, and there's nobody outside there, but now I'm outside, they're like, oh boy, there's dinner. And they fly across the yard, and they don't land in the grass, and they don't land in the bushes. They land on me, and they bite me, and they get the blood meal that they need. And so I don't recommend to people who call in the spring, is typically when they call, I don't recommend mosquito treatments. I recommend exterior treatments around the house, and maybe inside the house around windows and doors and places that the mosquitoes are going to come in, to keep them out of your home, so you've got at least somewhere you can retreat to get away from the mosquitoes. That's what I recommend, because I don't feel like, even in areas where, let's say you had a 4-acre lot, and which is plenty. That's a plenty amount of land to keep away from mosquitoes. You treat 4 acres, you're not going to have mosquitoes, because the neighbors are too far away from you for the mosquitoes to even smell you and come after you. But the problem is the amount of money you have to spend to treat 4 acres of land is a lot, and that's where I just don't feel like it's economical. Now, ticks, okay? To treat a yard for ticks, you're going to be very effective. If you treat between the months of March and May, you will attack your tick problem during during the breeding season, during when they lay their eggs, you're going to break the life cycle of the tick, because ticks lay eggs in the spring. And so if you kill the ticks before they lay eggs, then you eliminate the tick problem for foreseeable future. I mean, maybe even several years, because you figure the deer and the squirrels and the rabbits and the chipmunks and the field mice and stuff like that bring the ticks in the yard in the first place, they have to come back and they have to repopulate the yard. And that may take 3 or 4 years. I've got some customers that I only ever treated their yard once every 4 or 5 years, because that's when they would first get another tick on them. So that's very effective. I feel like that, if you're going to treat 4 acres, is something that's very valuable to the customer, because you've now taken something that the chemical only lasts for so many months. The most you're going to get out of a yard treatment is maybe 90 days, maybe. And if you can kill enough ticks to where people aren't going to have ticks for 3 or 4 years, you've done something really good for the customer. But mosquitoes aren't just a problem in the spring. They're a problem in the spring, summer, and fall. All 3 seasons, they're a problem. So you're going to have to treat at least once a quarter, maybe even more often, to keep the mosquitoes down. And like I said, they'll fly from the neighbor's yard to come and bite you. And to treat 4 acres with that amount of pesticide once a quarter or once every other month it's just too expensive. It's not economically sound for the customer. And that's what I build my business around, is trying to be as economical for the customer as I can. And there are people that have paid me to do it. But that's really expensive for them. But they're willing to pay. But they still have a problem. The thing is that you're not solving the problem like I feel that it should be solved. So. You can't do anything about standing water on neighboring properties. Yep, that's true. If Billy Bob over across the street is saving 14 tires for who knows what reason, and they're all full of water, he's got mosquitoes breeding in his yard, they're going to come and get you in your yard. And they're going to roost on his house, and they're going to roost in his bushes. And it may be 3 houses down that the tires are full of water, but because they're breeding mosquitoes, the mosquitoes are going to move throughout the area, and they're going to live where they can. And so they'll move through each house, and they'll live on this house, or they'll live on that house, and they'll live on your house. And so the most effective way to really deal with mosquitoes in a neighborhood is to just treat your house, so that when they try to come to your house, they die. Or if they try to land on your yard, they die. You could do a yard treatment for yourself. You could throw out some granules or something like that, and that'll keep them out of your yard. But it's not going to stop them from biting you. We still get eaten up with mosquitoes. I treat my yard, all the time, and I still get eaten up with mosquitoes. So, Jason, I understand the importance of spraying the customer's base. Okay, I'm guessing the customer's baseboard is what you're asking for, but I have carpet in the room I'm treating. Should I treat more often than 3 weeks a month with Crossfire? No, you don't need to. It lasts for over 30 days. There's no reason to do it. It doesn't matter if it's carpeted. It doesn't matter what surface it is. You're still only treating the baseboards. Do not treat the surface of the carpet. It's not important. All right, so there's one thing with treating. Okay, so when you're treating the floor, you're treating for fleas. You're not treating for bed bugs. Bed bugs don't live on the floor. Fleas do. Bed bugs don't like to live on the floor because there's too much vibration on the floor. Fleas like vibration. In fact, vibration is what causes fleas to hatch. They go into a cocoon phase, and when they reach maturity, they won't even come out of their cocoon unless they feel vibration. So the vibration is good for fleas, so they like to drop their eggs in the middle of the floor. Bed bugs don't. Bed bugs like to cluster around areas where people are and lay their eggs there. They like to lay their eggs up off the floor. They like to lay their eggs on the bottoms of box springs in places. And these are what bed bugs like to do. Bed bugs don't like vibration. So they will squeeze down around baseboards, and they will squeeze in around like electrical outlets and places like that. But still, if you really target your bed frame, headboard, footboard, bed rails, box springs, if your bed lays on the floor, spray that area of the floor that the bed lays on. Treat it like a platform bed. That's what you need to do. So if in instances where the bed lays on the floor, then the bed bugs can actually retreat under the bed and be safe from vibration. Because they're not going to feel the vibration. The bed is going to dampen the vibration of you walking through the room because it's sitting on the floor blocking the vibration, because vibration is a wave like this. And so what happens is it goes like this, it hits the bed frame and stops. So if your bed sits on the floor, then you need to treat the area under the floor, and you spray the entire area broadcast as if it's sitting on top of a platform bed. And that's the only time you want to treat the floor. Any other time, it's just baseboards, and like I said, headboard, footboard, bed rails, box springs, mattresses, couches, love seats, lazy boy recliners, sofa beds, things like that. Those are the things you want to target with your pesticide application with Crossfire. Now, not every pesticide allows for that labeled treatment. And this is what I was going over earlier tonight, is that there are some chemicals that will kill bed bugs, but you can't actually treat a lot of the areas we're talking about tonight. Like cushions and pillows. You can't treat pillows with Crossfire. You can't. You just throw your pillows in the dryer. They'll kill the bed bugs on the pillows. There are things like comforters and stuff like that that you need to just throw in the wash, and these things will kill bed bugs. And I'm just rambling now, going off on a tangent. Let's see. Is Crossfire a good product for preventative in apartments? Yes, it is. It's a really good chemical. It's a good chemical for prevention and elimination. I use it for prevention all the time. I have a house that I treated for months. I'm one of the only pest control companies that do this. So I've been doing bed bugs for so long that I actually started a program for my customers in Virginia. Sorry, my headset is attached to my freaking chair. Well, it's going to stay there. So I started this program for my customers, local customers. I can't do it for anyone that's out of range of maybe about an hour from my house. But I started this program where I guarantee my bedbug service. I'm one of the only, I think I probably am the only exterminator in Virginia that does it. What I do is I go in, I kill the bedbugs. I make sure the bedbugs are dead. And then I set them up on a preventative pest control plan once a month. I come out, I treat the house preventatively for bedbugs. Because typically people who get bedbugs will get bedbugs again. Because a lot of the people who get bedbugs don't realize how they get them in the first place. So they get them again. They repeat the same problem. So what I do is I go in preventatively and I treat the house. Once we get rid of them and we know the bedbugs are dead, I go in and I treat the house every month. And if they get bedbugs again, but it's like a year contract. It's one of the only things I do contracted. If they get bedbugs within that year, I treat for free. I treat the whole house for free for bedbugs for free. I just go in, I flip the beds like I always do, and I treat everything for free. And but I've been in houses, so just to give you some background, because this is crazy. Nobody really does this. Nobody really guarantees bedbug treatments like I do. But I've been in homes where people have gone on vacation, and I've been doing regular preventative pest control for things like ants and spiders and other bugs. And I've come in and found dead bedbugs all over the floor, where they had, a luggage that they brought in and they put it there, and then there's bedbugs just dead all over the place from what I had done, month to month. And so I was like, I can give a guarantee. I can do this because as long as I know the bedbugs are dead, then the preventative treatment absolutely works. Absolutely works. And kills the bedbugs. And so once a month you can treat. You charge a little bit more because Crossfire is really expensive, but it works. That's the thing, is that it absolutely works. And when you come into the house, the bed bugs are just dead, and they're not alive, and they're not living on the beds. And it's just an amazing product as long as it works. Now, if for some reason bed bugs start to develop an immunity to Crossfire, you will be the first people to know, my audience. You will be, because I will tell you. I'll tell you, if I switch from like Crossfire to Apprehend or something else, you'll know it first. Because I'll tell you, I'll come right on here and I'll say, hey, guess what? I ran into a resistant strain. I have to start using this now, and you'll know. You'll know, because I'll tell you. I don't care. I tell everybody. The thing is, in Virginia, the law in Virginia is I have to document every single pesticide I use in your home. If you hire me to come out to your home and I'm treating your home, that pesticide is documented. I have a record that I have to keep for 3 years, is non-restricted, 7 years if it's restricted, but 3 years non-restricted. I have to keep a record. You have to be able to have access to that record whenever you need it. And so, what's stopping a customer from coming online and telling you what I use? So, I just do it too. So if I have a chemical that I use in my business, you're going to know it. That's what this is. So you go here and you go to Amazon, my Amazon page. These are all the chemicals I use in my business. Now, not lice. I don't kill lice. I don't do that. But I did a video on lice, and this is the stuff I recommend for lice control, because when I was a child, we used to have lice all the time because my sisters all have long hair, and they pick them up from school and they bring them home. So I've got lice. But spider control, this is stuff I use for spiders. This is stuff I use for ants. This is stuff I use for stink bugs. All this stuff works. This is all the stuff I use in my business. Cockroach control, Vendetta. I don't use Advion. I know there's some videos going around TikTok, and there's some videos going around YouTube where people are using Advion. Advion's okay. Vendetta's way better. Vendetta Plus. That way it's got Nygaard in it. But it's way better than Advion. Now, I have Advion, and I rotate Advion in and out. But yeah, I recommend it. I don't think... Yeah, so these are all the pesticides I've used. Alpine's not... Oh yeah, there's Alpine right there. So yeah, for cockroaches. But anyway. Oops, wrong button. How do you prep for treatment in a house of a hoarder? I don't. I treat the beds. I treat whatever I can. Like I said, what I've listed: mattress, box spring, headboard, footboard, bed rails, couches, love seats, recliners, stuff like that. If I can get to it, I treat the best I can. I try to tell the customer these are the places I need access to, and they'll move stuff around. They'll shift stuff around. I do the best I can. I have eliminated bed bugs in hoarder homes before, and they haven't moved much because they didn't have really anywhere to move the stuff to, and they weren't willing to throw it away or get rid of it. But I have actually been able to eliminate bed bugs in hoarder homes by using Crossfire. It's why I'm so sold on it, because if I can go in a hoarder home and just treat the areas people kind of hang out, the bed bugs die. They come out of whatever stuff they're hoarding, and they go to bite the person, and they die. It may take a little longer because you can't put as much pesticide out because there's just so much stuff in the way, and you can't just spray people's stuff. If it's labeled, you can spray it, but if it's not on the label, you're not allowed to treat it. And you wouldn't want me to treat it either. You wouldn't want me to come in and just spray all of your stuff, And so, but I have gotten rid of stuff out of hoarder homes before. It's almost impossible to prepare a hoarder home for bed bug control, but unless people are willing to throw away a bunch of crap, Let's see. Should you wear a respirator when using Crossfire? No, you don't need to. You shouldn't have to at all. It doesn't even mention it on the label. It's not part of the PPE. In fact, let's do that real quick. Let's go over the PPE for Crossfire. So let's go here. Crossfire label. Let's go to Do My Own. Do My Own is a really good resource. They've got the label. So let's see. This is what it says, how it works. And then we scroll down to personal protective equipment. This is on every label of every pesticide. So personal protective equipment. Applicators and other handlers must wear long sleeve shirt, long pants, shoes and socks. That's it. That's it. Follow manufacturer's instructions for cleaning, maintaining PPE. If no instructions or washable exist, use detergent, hot water. Keep and wash PPE separate from other laundry. So if you got a uniform like I do, I only wash my uniforms with other uniforms. I don't wash them with, my baby's clothes. So, but yes. Anyway, this is it. That's only the PPE. You notice what's not there? Gloves. They don't require gloves. I do. I wear gloves. But they don't require it. They don't require a respirator. Maybe if I were spraying above head and it was drifting down on top of me, maybe. But, I wear a hat. I got a brim. That catches most all the pesticides. In fact, it's sweaty right there. I need to wash it. But yeah, it's really safe. In fact, it doesn't even have a signal word on the label at all. It says keep out of reach of children. It says that on all pesticides, but it doesn't say caution, warning, danger. There's no signal word on the label at all. At all. It's actually pretty safe. I mean, it says precautionary statements, hazardous to humans and domestic animals, but it's, follow your label. You're not going to hurt yourself. You're not going to get hurt. Sean says, is Crossfire safe to spray a house that has a baby in it? Yeah, I have babies. I got a baby do. Okay. So this people like Jennifer and Alicia. Alicia's not here, but my wife's name's Alicia too. My wife is 34 weeks pregnant this last Tuesday. She's being induced on the 26th of October, maybe, hopefully. That's when she's being induced. So 4 weeks. I got 4 weeks. And we'll have a baby in the house. So I have a very pregnant wife. I have my son, youngest, will be 3 on the 15th of October. I have an 8-year-old and I have a 16-year-old. I've been treating my house with Crossfire since Emma was 3. It's a pesticide that I use around my children. It's a pesticide I've used around my pregnant wife. It's pesticide I've used around, like I said, babies and everything. I've used it on baby beds. I've used it on, in fact, I recommend treating baby beds with Crossfire. The mattress, take sheets and everything off, take the mattress up, treat the bed just like it was an adult's bed. Treat all the bed frame, all the little cracks and crevices. Treat the baby's mattress. Let it dry, put sheets back on it, let the baby sleep in the bed, it won't hurt the baby. Doesn't cause SIDS, doesn't cause anything like that. It's safe. Won't hurt them. If I wash my sprayer out well, that I have sprayed Alpine WSG in, can I use the same sprayer for Crossfire? Perhaps. Alpine WSG is a non-repellent pesticide, just like Crossfire. Shouldn't hurt. If you do triple rinse, you should be able to use Crossfire in the same sprayer as Alpine. Now, I would not use the same sprayer that I used by Fenton or Demon or something like that in with Crossfire because of their repellency. Because I would feel kind of nervous that the repellent chemical would come into contact with Crossfire and make it not work anymore, even if I triple rinsed. But you want to triple rinse, and this means the hose as well. So you what you do is you have a jug, and you have your sprayer, and you fill your sprayer with water. You empty your sprayer, and you fill your sprayer with water. You pump it up, and you let the hose siphon the chemical through into the jug, and you just let it run until it runs clear. You may have to fill the thing up with water a couple times, but you need to triple rinse your jug, your sprayer anyway, at least. And then you also want to run the water through the hose till the hose is clean, because you will have chemical residue in your hose as well. So, but you can do that with stuff like Alpine. Alpine and Crossfire are both non-repellents, so it won't hurt if there's a little bit of residue of Alpine left in the tank. So, how do we find your store on Amazon? It's listed in the description below. It should. Let's see. Is it? I think it is. Let's see. And then you also... yes, it's listed in the description. If you just scroll down in the description, you'll see the link to my Amazon page. It's down there. Let's see. I'm biting my lip now. I've gotta go do a hoarder house for roaches next week. I tried to tell them they were wasting their money until they cleaned, but they said to try anyway. Oh, you'll get rid of them, James. Have you ever been tempted to call CPS after leaving a house? It's happened. I don't do lives together on TikTok. People like to do the thing where we talk together. I don't do that when I'm doing my live streams. I just kind of sit here and talk. So maybe one day I'll do a live stream strictly just for TikTok, and maybe we can join and talk to each other. But as it sits right now, I only talk to the people who call me through my YouTube channel. So, but I have been tempted to call CPS once, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to tell the story, but yes, I have. I have been tempted to call CPS before. And in fact, I have actually called CPS once. Once in 33 years, I have called CPS. I actually took it a step further. I didn't just call CPS. I walked in to the social services office and gave them a video that I filmed while I was in the home. So I have actually gone an extra mile and not just called them on the phone, but actually went straight to the CPS office, because I was actually, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I took social, what do you call it, where you adopt children through the social services. I actually took the classes to be a social worker, and I wanted to adopt children that way. And so I knew exactly where they were located, and I just went right straight to the office because I had taken all the classes and everything, and I had been approved to be a foster parent. And I went in and actually gave them the video. So yeah, it was a pretty bad house. It was really bad. I mean, and it's got to be really bad for me to report it, because I've seen houses that were pretty bad, but parents actually took really good care of their kids. The house wasn't in the best shape. And in fact, CPS had been called on the family and nothing had been done because they treated their kids pretty well. They just had a dirty house. So in fact, I asked a lady when I was taking my CPS classes, I actually asked a woman about that. And I said, why is it that some of these houses I go in as pest control are just filthy? I mean, they're absolutely disgusting. It's like they're living outside, but they're inside. I mean, there's dirt on the floor. There's roaches falling off the ceiling. It's just disgusting. And she said that a lot of times in those instances, it's actually better for the children to leave them in the home. That yes, they're living in filth, but you find that when they're tested by doctors, they actually have a higher immune system because they're in all this junk all the time and they're so used to it, they don't get sick hardly ever. And as long as the parents aren't physically abusing the children, they just leave them in the house. They said it would be more harmful, and this is what the social worker told me, that it would be more harmful to the child to take them out of the home because they're in a loving home than it is to leave them in, than it is to take them out. So anyway, that's just a little bit of my background. It's been maybe 12 or 13 years ago that I did the CPS classes, but I did take them all. I took them all. It was a big deal back then. But my wife, I've since been remarried. My wife had no problem having kids, so I actually have not adopted any children. For those that are wondering if I had. I will have to check and see if I should wear a respirator with Alpine. You don't have to wear a respirator with Alpine. I use Alpine every day. You don't have to. Chris Mack, do you smoke lots of weed before, during, after work? I have never smoked a weed a day in my life. I've never smoked a joint. I'm a pretty boring person. Honestly, I've never done any drugs. I've never done crack, cocaine, heroin, weed. The only thing I've ever done is taking Tylenol for a headache, aspirin, vitamins, vitamin B, B multivitamin, different things, and liquor. Now, I love bourbon. I love tequila. I love a margarita. Love pina coladas. Beer. In fact, I got non-alcoholic beer in there right now. Just Heineken 0.0 non-alcoholic. But my wife's pregnant. I'm not going to drink alcohol while my wife's pregnant. So, but no, I've never smoked a joint. Never done weed. Never have. I'm pretty boring. So I'm high on life. That's what people say. I joke around and I kid around, and the whole joke is that I'm just high on life. I'm happy just to be alive. So. Oh, it's fine, Jennifer. I'll tell you a story. That happened to me. I used to do these apartments. I used to service these apartments. They were low-income housing apartments. And in fact, you really could call them slumlord apartments, because the guy that used to own the apartments didn't really take care of them. They were leaky. They had mold issues and everything. And they're really low-income housing. And so when I got there, the way it worked is they were all outside apartments. And so you had 4 units in each building. No, not 4. I'm sorry. There were 8 units. 8 units in each building. 3 buildings. And so I started at the front, and I worked like the A building. So you have A1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have 5, 6, 7, 8 on the other side. And they were labeled just like that. And so I go down to A building, and then I go down to B building on one side, and then I get to the C building, and I wrap around, and I'd start back up the C building and B building and A building, get in my truck and leave. So when I got there were these guys all the way at the end. There was probably like 10 people all grouped around this one guy that was passing around I'm not supposed to talk about drugs on YouTube, am I? If it's marijuana, since it's been decriminalized, it's okay to talk about it, right? Anyway, it was a rolling paper, cigar rolling paper, this big. It was like that long. It was huge. It's the biggest blunt I've ever seen in my life. It was giant. It was like a big toe. It was huge. And they were smoking it, passing it around. And I got down there, and the guy's like, "Man, Mr. Bugman, I'm so happy to see you. We got roaches." And I said, "I see you got roaches." And then, of course, they all laughed, thought it was hilarious, because they're all high on marijuana, so they're laughing. They think everything's hilarious. And so they're like, "Man, take a hit. Come on, man, you gotta." And I said, "No thanks. I gotta work, gotta drive. I got a lot of places I gotta go to today. And you give me half a beer and I can't drive." And I said, "There's no way I'm gonna smoke a blunt and then go drive." And so they just started laughing at me and said, "Oh man, he's just a wimp." And the one guy said, "Nah, he's good, man. I bet you get all the women parts." That's what we'll say to make it PG in the world. Because you're the bug man. You can kill all the bugs. You can attract all the women you want. And I'm just like, dude. Now you get me laughing because I'm remembering this story. But I'm just like, dude, I don't think you understand. It's not that kind of job. I'm just killing bugs. Is all I'm doing. So, but anyway, that's my crazy story for the night. I'm probably going to get this video demonetized, but that's okay. It's just a live stream anyway. Anyhow, get me laughing and get me coughing. This has to be about more bugs. Real abuse may have been the case, my guess. I applaud you. Let's see. Fleas and ticks are health hazards, but you wouldn't necessarily punish a family getting help with a bug problem. Let's see. Hilarious. Let's see. Mold is worse than bugs. Oh, yeah, you are, Jennifer. You are a little chatty tonight. Mold is pretty bad. So I actually did mold remedy for that building. So what happened was because every single room had leaks, not just in the roof. Some of them had leaks in the roof, not very many, but all of them had leaks under the sink where the pipes just didn't hook right. They didn't hook together, and they would leak the sewage. Honestly, it's sewage because it's just drainage from washing dishes, but it is sewage. And it was leaking under the sink, and it was causing mold to grow, and it actually ended up growing black mold in every single unit. So they had to have Surf Pro come in, and they tore all the sheetrock out, and it was basically just a big skeleton of a building. It was nothing but the wood frame. And I had to go in there and treat the wood for mold remedy, treat all the wood and everything in the whole building. And then they rebuilt it. And then it became a much better place for people to live. Actually, the guy who owned it, the slumlord that owned it, he went into partnership with another company, and they turned it into a much better place for people to live. And in fact, even to this day, it's way, way better off than it was back when I used to do the pest control for it. Since then, it's passed on to another company. Another company runs it. Another company does pest control. A more centralized, nationalized country, I should say, runs it. And so they went with a national company for their pest control. But I haven't been in it in several years. But like I said, they fixed it up. They made it a lot better. And so the building isn't, dangerous, really for people to live in anymore. And it's no longer considered, it's still lower income housing. People can still go there and stay there like projects or whatever you want to call it. But it's a much better place to live now than it used to be. Oh yeah, Ralcha. I think people get them names. They come in here and they start chatting because they want to hear me try to say their name. But anyway, I've seen jars. Shoot, I had a guy one time offer me heroin, and it's terrified me because I was only like maybe 17 or 18 years old, and the guy come out of a travel trailer and he goes, he was high. He was really high. And he's like, man. And he didn't open his eyes at all. Oh, you ever do heroin? And he said it just like that. He said, man, and he took a long pause. And he goes, you ever do heroin? And then he opened his eyes up like this, real wide. And I said, no. And he's like, you want to try? I got some. Come on in here. It'll make you itchy. It's amazing. And I'm like, heck no. That's no way. That's no way. And he went back in the trailer, and I got in my truck, and I left. And I went and I told my dad, and he's like, Jason, don't go back here. He said, you don't want to go back here. Don't ever go back here. You can't trust people on heroin. They're crazy. He probably was going back in the trailer to get a gun because they're crazy. They'll steal everything you got because they need heroin. They want more, and heroin's really expensive. It's basically street version of morphine, and it's very expensive. And if he's got it, and he wanted to share it with you, he wanted to get you in that trailer. And who knows what would have happened if I had gone in that trailer with him. But like I said, I'm boring. I don't do drugs. I don't recommend people do drugs. I think doing drugs is bad. I don't smoke cigarettes. I've never smoked a cigarette a day in my life. I don't recommend it. I don't think it's good for you. I don't think it's good to smoke anything. It's not good to put smoke in your lungs. Don't do it. Don't do drugs. If you get anything from my streams, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs and follow the label. Anyway. So John says that does happen a lot when you go to spray and people smoke weed in rooms. You have to treat. So annoying. You pretty much run through and spray, not being able to do. Oh, I do a good job. I deal with the contact. Maybe I probably have had a contact high or two every now and then because some houses are just really full of smoke and you breathe it in. You can't help it. But honestly, I would rather walk into a place where people were smoking weed than smoke tobacco. Weed smells better than tobacco. Tobacco just bothers my eyes, makes my eyes sting. It's miserable stuff. But weed actually doesn't bother me. It never has. When I go into a place where people are smoking weed, I've never had a problem. I don't have an issue with my lungs or anything like that. But the tobacco is really bad. I really don't like tobacco smoke. It bothers me. It bothers my son. My son has problems with it. He actually has allergies to it. He hates it. So, Alicia Pons, I just talked about you. I just brought your name up just a minute ago. She says, Jason, I'm delighted to see you're feeling good. It's so nice to hear you again. Regards to Alicia. She's good. She's 34 weeks pregnant. 34 and a half weeks almost. Sam says, just moved into a new house and have seen a few roaches around. Got Ortho Home Defense and followed the label, but still see more. I still see some. Was wondering if you had suggestions. Just watched the review video. All right, so I don't recommend Ortho Home Defense for cockroaches because they're pretty much immune to it. I recommend Alpine WSG for cockroaches. You have to order it online. It's the only way you can get it, but it absolutely will kill your cockroaches. It's very effective for cockroach control, and that's what I recommend. I don't recommend Ortho Home Defense because it just doesn't work anymore. Roaches are immune to bifenthrin, so I don't recommend using it. Jennifer, 2 hours. Thank you for sharing your expertise and caring. Hey, I didn't realize. Has it been 2 hours? Has it really? Holy cow, almost. Hour and 45 minutes. Pretty close. We'll try to hit 2 hour mark tonight since I haven't been streaming forever. And I feel bad missing all those days. But I couldn't help it. Mainly, so what happened was I got sick. And I did a live stream. The week I got sick, I did a live stream. And I talked to everybody. And then, of course, I didn't wake up for 8 days. I slept for 8 days. And then I had so much work backed up. By the time I was feeling better and I could work, and I got off of quarantine and everything and all that good stuff, I just had so much work to do. By the time I got home, I was in bed before 9 because I was exhausted. I could put the kids to bed early and I go to bed because I was trying my best to catch up. I had to cancel 2 whole routes for the month of September because I didn't have time to do them. By the time I got them done, it'd be time to go back. And so I did tell a couple of routes. I just had to cancel them completely, but they understood I was sick. You can't help getting sick. If you're sick, you're sick. And so that's basically what happened. And I'm all right now, but I feel bad. You guys, I come in here and I chat with all you guys. Y'all are great. And I really like to get in here and chat with you. And there have been a few people that have hit my let's see. People are saying all kinds of stuff on TikTok. It says, how do you treat flying ants? I use, if it's just flying ants, they're just flying ants. They're just reproductives. They're usually pretty easy to kill with just about anything. Let's see, treating fleas, bed bugs, vendetta. Just somebody giving really bad advice. And I'm not going to repeat it because it's really bad advice. Let's see. James W. says, you never know what you're... that's a crazy thing about this job. You never know what you're going to come across every day. Hey, that's the best part about this job. The best part about pest control are the people you meet every day. You never know the kind of people you'll meet. It's fantastic. I love it. That's the best part. Hi, have you ever declined to do a pest control service for a customer? All the time. All the time. People called me back in the day. So what I'm going over in my next video on Tuesday, using repellents for bed bugs. Back when I used to use repellents for bed bugs, if the customer would not let me come and do every single room in the house or let me treat 3 months in a row, I wouldn't do it. I would decline. I've declined them. I've just said, nope, not going to do it. Not worth my time. Not going to do it. Not worth the money. Not worth the time. And I would fire. I would basically not do the work. I have what I call fired my customers because they wouldn't listen to my advice. Because I get really annoyed with people that don't listen. Pest control, I tell everyone, pest control is a two-way street. All right? I'm going to do my job. But you have a job to do as well. When it comes to prep work, when it comes to, don't use bleach. All right, so this is advice for everyone here. This is really, really important information on how to get rid of pests. Don't use bleach after you spray. The reason you don't use bleach at all, for at least a month after you treat for any kind of bug, is because bleach will eliminate the pesticide. Bleach is a neutralizing agent for chemicals. So if you get bleach into contact with any pesticide, it doesn't matter if it's Crossfire, Alpine, Home Defense, anything. If you get bleach and it touches against that pesticide will no longer work. And I tell my customers this. I had a customer one time that had ants in their kitchen, really bad. And I treated for 6 months straight, and it was as if I wasn't doing anything at all. And I could not figure out why I could not kill their ants. So I asked them. And when I went into their house, the last time I went into their house, the whole house reeked of bleach. I mean, it's like they had just cleaned right before I got there. And I asked the guy, I said, have you been using bleach every month that I come? And he's like, oh yeah, I use it every single day. And I said, well, no wonder your ants are so bad. I said, because you cannot use bleach after I've applied a pesticide, because the pesticide is going to be neutralized by the bleach. You can use Pine Sol. You can use Dawn dish soap. You can use Lysol. Lysol kills 99.9% bacteria, same as bleach. You can use Lysol. Don't use bleach. Chlorine bleach eliminates pesticides. I have to use it. I'm like, well, then I quit. I'm not going to spray your apartment anymore. I quit. And I called the landlord, and I told the landlord, I said, I'm not going to do it anymore. Guy's not doing what I tell him to do. I quit. And he's like, oh, I don't blame you. He's like, that's all right with me, because the landlord's paying the bill. I'm going out there, I'm treating the guy's apartment for the landlord, and the place is infested with ants, and he won't do anything to get rid of the ants. The tenant isn't working with me. So basically, landlord's wasting his money. There's no sense in me continuing to take money from this guy when the tenant isn't even working with me. So yeah, I fire customers all the time. All the time. Integrated pest management is bullshit. It is. IPM is bullshit. It is one of the worst things that has happened to the pest control industry. I say that. Oh no, he said it. Yeah, I said it. IPM is one of the absolute worst things that has ever happened to the pest control industry since I've been a pest control technician. I've been a pest control technician for 23 years. And I've been in pest control my entire life. And it is the absolute worst thing that has ever happened to pest control. Doing less work and expecting your pests to die is bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. So that's absolutely wrong, Kara Johnson. So stop preaching IPM or I'll block you, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It works sometimes, but most of the time it does not work. And this is why I have to go in and clean up after other exterminators that use the IPM mantra, but it is absolutely ineffective on most every bug that you want to eliminate from someone's house. What IPM does, is it gets you back in the house. And it keeps your customer a customer. It doesn't eliminate their problem. So that's the issue with IPM, is it does not eliminate your customer's problem. Sometimes it does. Sometimes. But most of the time, it just keeps them right at that barrier where they're not quite annoying enough, but it keeps the customer a customer. So IPM is bullshit. It's actually absolutely bullshit. So, I'm not going to do I could do a video on IPM, but I would talk forever, and explaining why it's no good. So, is temperate FX safe? I'm sorry, I saw that. I skipped like 4 questions because I saw that. And that's like the second time you've said that. Don't continue to talk about it, because I will block you from the channel. You will not be allowed to talk, because IPM is bullshit, and I'm not going to let you just come in here and spew your bullshit in my chat. I'm sorry, I am aggravated now, because I hate that. IPM is not good pest management. It's not. Which is why it's called pest management. It's not about extermination anymore. I'm an exterminator. I kill bugs. I eliminate them. I destroy them. I come into a house and I obliterate them. And I lose my customer because I've done the job right. The job is done. The customer fires me because they're happy with the success I've had. I've eliminated their bug problem. And then they'll call me again. I have repeat customers all the time. I have customers that keep me every month just because they don't want to continue to have bug problems. But IPM is, and I'm getting on my soapbox, IPM is a system of pest control management where pest control technicians are taught, do not do interior pest control anymore. Teach your customer that interior pest control is not needed. Okay? Because pests come from outside. Well, not all pests come from outside. In fact, if your customer has a problem with carpenter ants, and they've had a carpenter ant problem for several years, the carpenter ants will get into the home, and they will live in the home, and they will start a satellite colony that will eventually morph into a mother colony that will then send satellite colonies throughout the entire house and into the yard. Okay, if you do not do interior pest control, you will not eliminate that pest problem. You won't. Okay, same with German cockroaches. Fleas are the same thing. Fleas get in carpets, live in the floor, will eat people. They will bite you. They can't live on you because you're a person. You don't have fur like a dog or a cat. But a flea can bite you, get what they need with the blood meal, lay eggs, live in your house. And just because you track them in from outside, from the yard. Okay? There are so many holes. Like, I could shoot holes through IPM like it were Swiss cheese. It's absolutely not effective, and it is not something that I recommend people follow. If you're a technician and you've listened to people like Denny Miller, and I could give other names, but that's one of them that preaches IPM, 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 IPM all the time, it's bullshit. It doesn't work. And there are quicker ways to get rid of insects without using IPM. So, in fact, most of my videos are against IPM. If you know what IPM is and you know what IPM stands for, you know, if you've watched my videos on eliminating bugs, you know absolutely that integrated pest management is not what I talk about. It's not what I preach. And I am a baseboard jockey through and through. That's what I am because I know how to kill bugs. And you don't. So, is Tempered FX safe to spray without a respirator? I believe it is. I don't think it calls for a respirator. Let's see. Tempered FX. Let's see the label. Label. I'll get a lot of hate for saying I don't agree with IPM too, by the way. So, the label for Tempered. Let's see. Where to apply, how to apply, reapply, re-entry, questions. Oh man, where is it? I don't use Tempered. So I can't go, I can go right to the label of Crossfire and try and tell you what it should be right at the very beginning of the label, but I didn't see it. Let's see. For medical treatment. Harmful if absorbed through skin, harmful if swallowed, causes moderate eye irritation, avoid contact with skin, eyes, or clothing, wash thoroughly with soap and water after handling, but it doesn't say what the PPE is at all. Usually it will. If anyone knows, let that guy know. So let's see here. Actually, mold is good. What is it? Timbor or Boar Care or whatever is really good for mold. I do eliminate mold, Jennifer. I do mold remedy. Please do a video on IPM. Let's see. I only try a little pest control for friends, never for money. I am no pest control guy, but I have learned much from your videos and trust what you say. So again, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Kent Thomas said, my friend had bed bugs. She has moved. She wants to know if it is possible that they came with her. Yes. Even if she didn't take much, it's possible. She says she didn't take much furniture with her. She moved. She left The beds, yes, but they will live in other pieces of furniture, and they will live in your clothes and stuff like that too. And if you're moving with those in your possession, then you can bring bed bugs with you. So she probably did bring them with her. Oh, and then we got a call. Hello, this is Jason with Green Acres Pest Control. Can I help you?
That they came with her. Yes.
Hello?
Hello? Can you turn off your sound for the computer so I can hear you?
She moved. She left the bed. Yes, but they will live in other people's furniture, and they will live in your clothes.
I got a question. I used some Crossfire the other day.
Okay.
It was about like a week and a half ago. And then I didn't use the whole container, but I still have some bed bugs crawling around. And I know you said it takes a couple weeks to get rid of them, but I was going to reapply it.
Mm-hmm.
How do I dispose of the stuff that was still in my sprayer?
Did you not use? I guess you didn't use everything that was in the sprayer.
No, I didn't use everything. I probably got about like an inch of a gallon sprayer left.
So I've had a lot of people ask me this question. If it's only been a couple of weeks, has it turned into a gel yet at the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then it's garbage. So what you need to do is,
I know it's not good anymore, but like, what should I do to get? I want to dispose of it.
So there was a question
safely
earlier that was asked. Actually, the problem with pesticides, and this is one of the issues with ordering, a concentrated pesticide where you have to mix it yourself, and you'll end up with excess and leftover and stuff like that. Because typically if you buy something like Home Defense, it comes in its own sprayer. And so, you're only going to use whatever you need, and then you can just continue to use it because it's already mixed for you and ready to go. But the problem with using something like Crossfire, because it separates from the water, I've had people tell me, I can only tell you, I can only advise you what the label says. So that's the law, and I have to follow the law. But
I know I've watched you for a long time.
Exactly.
The label is the law.
But I can tell you what other people have done and what other people have told me and what has worked for other people. And so this is the way I get around a loophole. All right. So what other people have told me they have done with leftover Crossfire is they have shaken the can and they have been able to get it to re-agitate back with the water and then just mix the Crossfire on top of it. And that has worked for them, and that's what people have done. Now, I can't tell you to do that because, that's against the law, so don't do that. But people have done it, it's worked. Now, if you can't get that gelatinous goo to reconstitute with the water, then what you have to do is you have to triple rinse your gallon, and you have to take your rinsate, which is what the wastewater that comes out of the Crossfire bottle is, and that you need to put that in like a gallon jug or a 2-gallon jug or whatever, and you have to keep it, or you have to take it and dispose of it at a pesticide disposal station, and that's how you have to get rid of it. That's the only way. You can't use it outside. You can't just spray it around your garden or anything to kill bugs or anything like that. You just have to. That's how you have to get rid of it. That's the only way. Like I went over this at the beginning of the live stream tonight. Someone had asked me what to do with leftover pesticides that you can't use anymore. Like let's say you had in your crawl space, maybe you have like an old bag of DDT or something like that. You have to take that to dispose of it at a special disposal station where every state is different. Virginia cycles through once a year. There's different counties that will accept pesticides, and so you have to take it to that county if you have to get rid of it. And they do this for people like us who, I mix hundreds of gallons of chemical a year. And there are some times where I have extra rinsate that I have to get rid of, and the only way I can get rid of it is to take it to these chemical disposal stations where they throw it out for you. And so that's what you kind of have to do to be safe. But I've heard all kinds of stories of people that have reused it and it's worked just fine. But like I said, I can only advise what the label says, and the label says to take it, rinse it out, and dispose of it. But like I said, I can't tell you to do anything but what I know. And,
I understand.
Yeah, but if you can get it to reconstitute with the water, I have had people say it still works. Even after 2 or 3 weeks, they've still been able to use it, and it still works.
So what is the, like, because I still got some of those little bastards crawling across my floor, and I sprayed it like 2 weeks ago, but you said that if you want to use Crossfire, you got to...
It's got a residue that'll kill them for 30 days.
So they still might be dying.
Yes.
I mean, because I find a bunch of dead ones.
They are still dying.
I find a bunch of dead ones.
Yeah, they are still dying from the chemical. The chemical is still, actually, at only 2 weeks, it's still pretty strong, and it absolutely will still kill the pests. It will work. And what you've done already will still kill them. It just kills them slower. So what happens is when you first apply the chemical and it's really strong and it's still wet, it kills them within 5 minutes. After it's dry, it takes like an hour or two for them to die. And then after a week or two has passed, it may take them 6, 7, 8 hours to die. And you're not going to sit there and watch them. But if you collect them and you put them in a jar and you wait, they'll be dead. They'll die in the jar. And it's because they came into contact with the pesticide. Because I had a jar somewhere around here where I actually had them for like 5 months, and they were still alive for the whole 5 months. I collected them before I sprayed anything, and they live in a jar with no oxygen. Like I said, for 5 months they were alive. So,
dude, I love your show, and I mean, it was like, you know, when I watched that, and I told my mom, I said, we used the whatever, it's in a can, it's made by the same people that make the Bedlam.
mm-hmm.
We used that and the Alpine and all that shit, and it didn't work. And then
the same people that make Crossfire make Bedlam.
I know that.
Yeah.
I saw that on the can.
Yeah, but Crossfire is the newer pesticide, and it works. What happened is the bedbugs started to develop an immunity to Bedlam, and Bedlam stopped working. They started to get resistant to it, and so they started producing that Crossfire instead. Crossfire is like more like an upgraded version of Bedlam, and it works a lot better. Bedlam used to work. Bedlam was amazing back when it first came out. Oh, it worked. It killed bedbugs really, really well, but it just stopped working. They developed an immunity to it.
Dude, I'm still amazed that you actually answered.
Well, yeah, you called. That's what I do this for. So I have a service that I provide people where they can call me. Like they can actually go and they can use my website and they can sign up and they can, you know, there's certain days where I'll set aside time where I can talk to people on the phone. But every Thursday night I'm here. I'm here live. I answer the phone. If you call, I'm going to answer the phone. Now, I don't have call waiting. So if someone calls while you're here talking to me, then I can't answer because I don't have call waiting. It's just something I do for free for people who want to know about bug problems. Right. But I enjoy it. I've been doing the YouTube for almost 6 years now, and it's a crazy world doing YouTube and teaching people.
I've watched all your shows, and my question is, so should I? You know, it's been 2 weeks, and I still got them crawling around, and I live with my mom because I take care of her because she's special needs, and she's freaking out.
Right.
Should I go spray the house? Because I actually, she goes, I'm buying more of that stuff. And I'm like, all right. So I got another, 13 whatever ounce bottle of that shit. Mm-hmm. Should I just go spray the house again, or should I wait?
You can. I mean, I would probably wait. I would give it at least another week. I would wait at least 3 weeks from the initial treatment date. And then if you're still seeing them crawl around and they really are bothering you that bad, then go ahead and spray again then. But I would give it another week. Honestly, I would. Because it's 13 ounces to a gallon. The stuff is so strong that I just don't, I have a lot of faith in Crossfire. I have told people, and I get paid extra to come out. I don't guarantee the bedbug service until the bedbugs are eliminated. And so if a customer has to call me, I get paid extra to come out and treat again. And I've still told people, I said, it's only been 2 weeks. Can you give it another week? Can you just wait 1 more week and just see what happens? Or can you wait 2 more weeks and see what happens? Because honestly, the chemical is still good. The chemical will still kill the bugs. The label specifically says it lasts for a whole 30 days. If you can really have patience and last for a month, then you really only need to treat once a month. And you may not need to treat again at all. But if you've got the bottle and you just want to do it, then by all means, it won't hurt to do it. It'll just make the chemical stronger to where it kills them fast again, like it was when you first applied it.
All right, man. Hey, thank you so much.
No,
I'm just so amazed that somebody on YouTube actually answered the phone.
Of course. Hey, you called me. You have a good night.
All right, later, brother.
No problem. Bye. I still can't believe people are amazed that I'll answer the phone. All right. It has been a long time. I have tried my best to stick around and last all night long. I've been here for 2 hours and 11 minutes. It's one of my longest live streams yet. But I got to go to bed. I got to get done. I'm going to answer these last few questions that popped in right before I got on the phone. But the phones are going to go off right now. I'm not going to answer any more phone calls for the night. So let me see. Let me see if I can. I think I can take the phone off. I don't know. It don't matter. I turned off Skype anyway. So if you call, I can't answer. But let's see here. I have my first bed bug inspection tomorrow. Any tips for how to sell? Oh, you're doing the inspection and you want to know how to sell a bed bug job? Just tell people the truth. If you go in and you see that there's bed bugs, just tell them, I can kill your bed bugs, and do it. You'll get the job. It's not about being cheaper than the competition. It's about being better than the competition, because the customer will spend their money if they know that it's going to work. So you need to be able to know what you're doing, and you need to be, just be honest. Honestly, I sell when I don't try to. I go into houses and I don't want to do the job. I don't. I tell the customer, you could get better price from someone else. And they still buy from me. Because I know what I'm doing. I'm going to get rid of their bug problem. And they can tell by talking to me that I'm going to get rid of their bug problem. But I have gone into places and I have told the customer basically not to hire me. Please don't hire me. And they still do. And that's not like a sales technique that I've tried. I don't know if it is. Maybe it is a sales technique. I don't really know. I'm not a salesman. I don't really try a lot of these places, like especially like the long distance stuff where people call me from like, Chantilly, Virginia, or Woodbridge or Springfield, and they're like 3.5 hours away. This is way up in Northern Virginia, 3.5 hours from where I live. I don't want to drive that far. I will. If a customer wants me to, I will. I will go the extra mile because that's the way I am with my... I can't tell people no, but I price it what it costs to drive out there, and I'll tell them right out, hey, you can get a cheaper job. Just call around. Find somebody local. Tell them this is what you want them to use. Tell them to use Crossfire. They still end up saying, I just want you. I don't know why. They like me. I don't know. And I just talk to them on the phone. And so if you really need tips, just be yourself. Be yourself and be honest. People like honesty. People don't want a liar. People can see bullshit. They can read that. They know you're talking bullshit. Okay? They know. So don't talk bullshit. Just be straight. Be straightforward. Be honest. If you don't know the answer to the question, tell the customer, I just don't know. Let me look that up for you. Let me check some of my resources. Let me get with, the University of Tennessee or Virginia Tech, or, call some of these places that do entomology and ask them. Follow through and ask them, and then call the customer back and say, oh, I found the answer to your question. This is what it is. Don't bullshit. Be honest. So that's what I can give you as the honest answers to your question is if you're wanting to try to make a sale for any kind of pest control job, just don't lie to people. Tell them the truth. A lot of these salesmen will just come in and they'll promise the world. And they'll say, yeah, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this, and oh yeah, sure, yeah, oh, of course. And they just yes man. All they do is tell the customer yes. But then when the tech comes in and they've got to do the job, they're like, I can't do that. It's not even possible. But the salesman, they wanted the sale. Their whole point was to get them to sign that dotted line, and they're no better than a used car salesman. And you drive off the lot, your car is good for 30 days, and then at the end of that 30 days, it's now it's a lemon, you know. And that's the way a lot of these salesmen are with pest control. Is they just want you to sign. They just want you to sign so they can get that commission. That's all they care about. They don't really care about the customer. Care about your customers. Do what's best for your customers. Be honest to your customers. Practice customer service. The customer is the boss. All right, treat them like the boss, and you'll get the sale. So, and that's my, I guess, what is that called? Prep speech, whatever. You can do it. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you can do it. Get up like this. Ah, my tower. No, my computer. Don't fall. Ah. I just pulled my tower over. Hope I didn't screw up my live stream. I was about to be funny. I was going to go, do it. You can do it. Like that, you know. Like that guy does. Whatever his name is. I think I'm tired. If I start doing crazy stuff like that, pulling my tower over because my headset got stuck inside it and pulled it over, forgot it was attached to my computer tower. Anyway. Let's see. The water processing plants are not intended to filter out chemicals. No, they are not. You cannot send your chemical down the drain to a water treatment plant. It will not work. In fact, that's one of the biggest complaints that water treatment plants will get is they say all the medications, pharmaceuticals, stuff like that that's in the water doesn't get filtered out. It actually gets pushed right back into the home. So a lot of homes that get tap water from the city actually have pharmaceuticals and chemicals in them because they're not made to filter out that stuff. So do not wash your chemicals down the drain. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not good. So, what part of Virginia is your core service territory? Around Bedford County. Bedford, Lynchburg, Roanoke, sometimes Charlottesville, sometimes Gretna, you know, just right around that area. So, hey, Jennifer's telling me go bed.